Good morning, everyone. Kuf Lamed Dalet Amud Bet, 134b, all the way on the bottom, last line. So the Mishnah said, Safek, if you have a baby born, you're not sure if he had a full-term pregnancy, 9 months, or he's an 8-month-old baby, which in those days was surely going to die. And if he's surely going to die, there's no mitzvah of Brit Milah for him. So much so that he's even muktzah on Shabbos. Okay? So you're not sure if you can do the Brit. Now this baby was born on Shabbat, so next Shabbat is his Brit. So you can't do it. You have to wait till Sunday. Because you're giving him a Brit because there's a tzafek, maybe he is a full-term baby. And therefore, he's going to live. But you can't do it because you're not sure if it's a real Brit, so you wait till Sunday. Androgynos is a zachar and a nekeva, someone who has male and female signs. So that's a machloket if he's just a male. This shita is going that he's a suffix zachar, suffix nekeva. So you do have to give him a Brit. However, since you're not sure if he's a zachar, so maybe the Brit is not a Brit. And if it's not a Brit, you can't do it on Shabbat because it's Isur Shabbat. So you wait till Sunday. Rabbi Yehuda said, androgynous, you give him on Shabbat, matir. Says the Braita, Tanu Rabbanan, related Braita over here. It says, the Milah is doche Shabbat, from that pasuk, B'yom hashmini yimol b'sar lato, or lato vadai, doche ta Shabbat. Only his, or lato, his orla, which is definitely an orla, dochet Shabbat, v'lo safek dochet Shabbat. But what?
His rather than what else?
Meaning rather than a safek. His is called like a real story, a real orla. V'lo safek. Morning, David.
Where are you?
Hashem. So the Braita says that it has to be a vaday and not a safek. This is very similar to our Mishnah. Another thing that it's being mimayit. Another safek that it's being mimayit from orlato. Again, it's the same word that's being mimayit. Another type of safek is androgynos. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda says, androgynous dochet Shabbat ve'anush karet. Not only is it androgynous dochet Shabbat because it's a real Brit, but if an androgynous doesn't give himself a Brit, it's chayav karet. Okay? Now the Braita continues with all these types of tzvakot again that are excluded from the word orlato, which means vadai. Orlato vadai dochet Shabbat v'lo nolad ben hashmashot dochet Shabbat. If a child was born ben hashmashot of the night of Shabbat, which is it's a safek if he was born on Friday or Shabbat, you can't give him a Brit on the following Shabbat because maybe at the 8th day, Olato vadai dochet Shabbat, v'lo nolad k'shumahu dochet Shabbat. If a child is born already with a milah, you don't give him a Brit. On Shabbat, Beit Shammai omrim, tzarich lahativ mimenu dam brit, Beit Hillel omrim eno tzarich. Beit Shammai says there's a chiyuv still to get a little blood, to draw a little blood. Well, Beit Hillel says you don't have to do anything because he's mahul. And even according to Beit Shammai, there is a process that has to be done. There is a mitzvah of brit that has to be done, which is to draw a little blood, even though the child was already born circumcised. Still, the whole reason why you have to do that is because maybe there is an arla there, but the arla is concealed, and you're not able to see the arla. And it looks like the child is mahul, but really, it's like so attached that it becomes one, and you can't tell. So therefore, you have to draw some dam brit. Says Beit Shammai. Therefore, why are you being mativ dam brit? Misafek, in doubt. because perhaps there's a Brit here. Oh, so that's why you're doing the Brit. Because perhaps, not because Vadai you're doing the Brit, because maybe Beit Shammai says, maybe you're right, Beit Hillel, maybe there is no Arla, we don't see an Arla. Or maybe there is an Arla and there's a Chayav. Okay, so you're not really sure. So if you're not sure, then you can't be Mechal Shabbat, Misafek, from this Pasuk, Arlato. Now, comes along, Omer Rabbi Shimon Elazar lo nechlu Rabbi Shammai Yisrael al nolad kishum alu shetzarich le'atif menu dam brit. If they show Arla Kvushi. Everybody agrees that you have to, because there's a real Safek and because it's Arla Kvushi. They're arguing about a ger that became a convert, like an Arab child that they gave a brit to. There's no question because that it's an Arla Kvusha. The reason why he doesn't have Arla because they took off his Arla. Shebet Shammai omrim tzarich le'ativ mimenu dam brit, uBeit Hillel omrim ein tzarich le'ativ mimenu dam brit. So, that's what Beit Hillel says. You don't have to take off dam brit from this child because the only reason why you have to mativ dam brit is because of Arla Kvusha. According to Rabbi Shimon Elazar, everybody agrees to this Arla Kvusha thing, and therefore. That's why. But if the kid already had a real milah, there's no chash of Arla Kvusha. There's no worry about that. You don't need to take off any. You don't have to draw any blood. And according to Beit Shammai, there's a mitzvah, independent mitzvah, to always draw blood. Nothing to do with Arla Kvusha or not, and that's why even a gesh and itgayer, you take off, you draw some blood. But anyways. Back to this Braita. The Braita mentioned a whole bunch of cases that are safek. You are not mechalel Shabbat. And by the way, why would I need a pasuk to tell me that if it's a safek, you're not mechalel Shabbat? Safek chilul Shabbat, you're not allowed to do. So why would I need a special drasha from Orlato vadai for lo safek? Let's say there was no pasuk like that, and you had a safek. You're not sure if this baby is full term or 8 months, and he's going to die, and there's no mitzvah of brit milah on an 8-month-old baby. Not today anymore, because today it's not a sakana, but in those days, it was a child was surely going to die. Or you have a safek if androgynous, which is a male, female, both, if he's a male or a female. So you do it, but you're not sure if he really needs it, because he might not be a zachar. It says v'arel zachar. It says dafka as a male needs brit milah. So of course I wouldn't do it on Shabbat. Of course I would wait till Sunday, because it's safek chilul Shabbat. So, lamali, why do I need a pasuk here of Orlato vadai v'lo safek? You hear the kasha? And the Mefarshim say that the teretz is because if I didn't have a pasuk, then would be able to give the guy skila? So they warn him, don't give the androgynous a brit now, because you're not sure that you're actually allowed to. Maybe this child is a female and there's no brit, so therefore do it tomorrow. Don't give this baby a brit because the baby maybe is a 9-month-old baby, an 8-month-old baby, and there's no brit. So therefore you're just being mechalel Shabbat. And the guy doesn't listen, and he does it. Could you kill him? Does he have to bring a chatat? No, because he doesn't know. It's a safek. You can't kill him misafek. Maybe he wasn't mechalel Shabbat. Maybe everything was fine. So maybe he doesn't bring a chatat either. Says the pasuk. There's no Brit. There's no Brit on a Safek. There's definitely no Brit. Not you maybe, since you don't know, so then just don't make a Brit because you're not sure. If you don't know, there's no Brit. There's positively no Brit. And therefore if you do a Brit, he's Mechalel Shabbat Vadai. And he has to bring a Korban Chatat if he did it by mistake, and if he did it on purpose, it's Chayav Karet, Skila with Eden. That's what the Pasuk is teaching us. Got it?
Sorry. How do you know what the baby is?
Male or female?
Yeah.
He has both signs. It's called an androgynous. That's the Mishnah is talking about. He has signs of a girl and signs of a boy. So there's a machlok.
When the baby's born, you have the bris. Well, I don't get it.
The baby is a boy or a girl?
You know when it comes out.
It has both signs.
I think it's called a hermaphrodite.
What is it called in English?
Hermaphrodite.
Hermaphrodite. Never heard of it?
Yeah.
It's boy girl. So now, is that a boy or a girl? A boy girl is what? So there's a safek. It's a doubt if a boy girl is a boy or a girl. If it's a boy, then you have to do a brit on his brit. If it's a girl, then you don't have to do a brit on his brit, because even if he has a brit, but he's a girl, and the chiyuv is only to do it on a boy. So since it's in doubt, so you got to do it, but don't do it on Shabbat, even if the kid was born last Shabbat, because since you might not have to do it, the Torah says you're being mechalel Shabbat. Wait till Sunday. Got it? Okay. Now Rabbi Yehuda says you do it on Shabbat. We'll see later why. Okay. Omar Mar. Now the ratio of the Braita said, "V'lo safek dochet Shabbat." Last two emai. Meaning, the first part of the Braita didn't say a case. The rest of the Braita kept going. It started saying cases. Oh, latov adai, v'lo androginus, v'lo who was the next one? Bein hashmoshes, v'lo kshu mahul. Okay, so you explained every time. But the first one just said a general statement. Alatov adai v'lo safek. What safek? What are you including over there? There's a case that you haven't mentioned in the Braita. Le'atu yehadatan rabbanon. Ben shiv'ah mechalin alav et Shabbat. Okay. Ben Shivan, a child born in the 7th month, you mechalel Shabbat for him, meaning to say, to give him a brit. Okay? On the 8th day, on Shabbat. Because a 7th-month-old baby is a full term. There's two types of full terms. There's a short full term, like a 7-month. There's a 9-month. But an 8-month is a short, it's an early 9-month. So that's why Ben Shmona, Emechalin alav et Shabbat, because he will definitely die. He's considered a dead child, and therefore there's no mitzvah to give him a brit whatsoever. Okay? Now, Rashi asks an unbelievable kasha. I worked very hard on this kasha once. Rashi, what happens if you take a dead man and you cut a limb? It's like cutting chicken. Cutting chicken is no isser, there's no chabura in a dead thing. Mechatech basar min hameis, there's no malacha. So Rashi says, 1 second. So why you mechal Shabbos?
It's not considered even Chal Shabbat.
Right. So Rashi says, the Gemara is going to say that in the next daf. That's kemechatech basar min hameis. So Rashi says that we're talking about, like the Gemara is going to say later on, really, Chilul Shabbat that was done with Machshirei Milah. That even Rabbi Eliezer that holds you allowed to carry a knife, let's say through the Rishut Rabim, because you could do all the Machshirei Milah. Here, he will agree. So they're not talking about the Chilul Shabbat of Rabbi Akiva that we pass. The only Chilul Shabbat that we do on Shabbat is the actual cut. What it means is, Ben Shmona ein mechalin alav et Shabbat, meaning, even if your name is Rabbi Eliezer, you have a whole list of things that you're allowed to do on Shabbat. You're allowed to make coals, you're allowed to chop down trees, you're allowed to carry knives and Rishus Rabim. Anything that's prepares yourself for the milah is okay. Here you can't carry the knife through. That's what they're telling you. So there are melachot that you can find. The cut, you won't find. So it won't be negeya for the shita of Rabbi Akiva. But for the Rabbi Eliezer, this is a very pertinent halacha. Ein mechalin alav et Shabbat. Okay? Fine. Safek ben shiva, safek ben shmona, ein mechalin alav et Shabbat. What about if you're not sure? If the child is a shmona or a shiva, so he's a safek, so ein mechalin alav et Shabbat. And that is the case that the Mishnah meant when it said, Suffolk, you're not doiches a Shabbos, this type of child. Sorry. So, says the Gemara, Ben Shmona Hareu Ke'even V'asulu Tatalo. If he's for sure an 8-month-old baby, he's like a stone. It's the same thing. It's that Amber Alert, right? And you're not allowed to move him because he's considered a dead person. And you're not allowed to move him because he's muktzah. Aval imo shocha, but the mother could lean over him uminikato, and she can nurse him leaning over him. Why did they give her that? Because it's a danger for her to leave her milk in her body because she can become sick if she does not nurse. Okay? Fine. Fine. Okay. Itmar. Rav Amar halacha ketana. Kam Shmuel halacha k'Rebbi Shimon ben Elazar. We had a machloket. Do you remember Beit Shammai said that the Tanakama said that there's a machloket Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel. If the child is born mahul, and Beit Hillel, we always follow Beit Hillel. Now the Tanakama said the machloket is that Beit Shammai says that perhaps even though the child is born circumcised, perhaps it's so attached, the arla, you don't see it. So you have to at least draw some blood. Beit Hillel said, nothing doing. If he's born circumcised, he's born circumcised. And there's no mitzvah to be mativ dam brit at all. That's how Beit Hillel learned. So if that's the machloket Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai, we always follow Beit Hillel. So you won't have to circumcise and even draw a drop of blood from a child who was born with a brit milah. So according to Rav, that the halacha follows the Tanakama. That's the halacha. Ushmuel amar halacha k'Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Shmuel says no. It follows like Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar says that even Beit Hillel is on board with Beit Shammai, that a child who's born circumcised needs a brit milah, needs a hatafat dam brit. And the only machloket they had was only by a gershon itgayer. If there's an independent mitzvah of hatafat dam brit, whether you have an arla or not. But everyone agrees that if the child is born circumcised, you have to worry about the tzad, maybe that there's arla kfusha, and therefore even Beit Hillel will agree. So if Beit Hillel will agree, then a circumcised child you will need hatafat dam brit. That's what Shmuel holds. Rav Ada bar Ahava yisi lidlei hahu yenukek shumo. Rav Ada bar Ahava had a baby who was born to him that was circumcised. He went looking, and he went around to 13 different moalim. He said, please be mativ dam brit. Now it was Shabbat. The baby was born on Shabbat. If you hold like Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, then even Beit Hillel agrees that the child is a hatafat dam brit. But Now, I think it's a vadai there. Okay? According to Rav Shimon ben Elazar. But if you hold like Rav, you don't. So he went around to 13 moelim. None of them agreed to do the Brit on Shabbat. To be mativ dam Brit. Dam, yeah? Adeshaveh krus shavcha. Rav Ada bar Ahava did his own Brit, and mistakenly he cut a little bit of the gid off until the child was turned into a krut shafcha, which means the child was not able to ever have children again. Since he mistakenly did that to his own child, now the baby become krut shafcha, he won't have children again, and he's not allowed to get married. That's not halacha. He's not allowed to even marry him. That's one of the people you're not allowed to marry. Omar Teisili, the Ovri Adarav. Se kumt mir. You ever heard in Yiddish? In Yiddish is based that language on, in my opinion, on the way the Jews spoke in Aramaic and everything. It's the same type of Teisili. So it comes to me. Meaning I deserve it. Se kumt mir. Same exact lashon in Yiddish. The Ovri Adarav. Why? Because I was over on Rav. Rav said halacha is like the Tanakama. And the Tanakama holds that Beit Hillel holds that you don't need dam brit. So I went ahead, so I didn't follow Rav. And therefore I did an Easter Shabbat according to Rav. So that's why it comes to me that I messed up my child. On the Rav Nachman, they had the Shmuel le'over. And on Shmuel, that Paschal Rabbi Shimon and Lazar, that says that everybody agrees that you have to be mativ mimenu dam brit. Even Beit Hillel holds like that because of Arla Kvusha. You think that Rabbi Shimon and Lazar was saying that Beit Hillel agrees on Shabbat? Beit Hillel agrees to Beit Shammai that we have to worry about the fact it might be in Arla Kvusha. So therefore you should be mativ dam brit on a child that was born like that on a Wednesday. Because perhaps it's still a suffix, so on Shabbos you don't do it. So even according to Shmuel, you did something wrong. Now, you didn't for sure do something wrong, but you did. Like I tell you before, the answer with the Mefarshim, because the pasuk says a suffix, you're positively not allowed to do it. So you're over according to everyone. Right? He had a baby, he went to 13 Mohalim.
13 what?
13 Mohalim. 13 Mohel.
Yeah.
To do the Brit on Shabbat. The baby was born with a Milah. Nobody wanted to do it. He did it himself, he messed up the baby. And the baby became a Krut Shafcha. He can never have children, he can't get married either.
Wow.
Not allowed to marry him. So he said, I deserve it because I transgressed what Rav said. So the Gemara is asking, even according to Shmuel, that Beit Hillel agrees that you always draw a little blood. That's only on a weekday, but not on Shabbat. So what was he thinking? Now obviously, he didn't think that way. Because he said I was only over on Rav. So what did he think? So the Gemara says, Vehu savar vade er lekvushi. He felt that when Rabbi Shimon and Lazar said that Beit Hillel says that you do the Brit on a child, you take a little blood, it's because there's for sure an Arla. Vadai Arla Kvushahi. So that is a question, just you don't see it. You don't know where the Arla is because it's so attached to the blood. So therefore you have to draw some blood. You have to do a Brit. And since Shmuel said the halacha follows Rabbi Shimon and Lazar, so he went with Shmuel. So now for sure you have to do a Brit on Shabbat. That's why he did on the Shabbat. So there's really a machloket in Rabbi Shimon and Lazar. The Itma Rabba Omar Chashinon Shemer Or Lekvushi Rav Yosef Amavade Or Lekvushi. Right? There's a machloket to Rabba and Rav Yosef if it's a suffix or a vadai. Okay. Just as a little explanation of what's going on over here. If you're worried about Arla Kvushahi, right? Like a hidden Arla, it became attached with the Gid and you don't see it. It's like one with the Gid. So, whether you say, like Rabbi or Rav Yosef, that it's for sure an Arla Kvusha or it's a suffix Arla Kvusha, what is Hataf as Dam Brit to help? I'm saying, okay, fine. So there's perhaps, or for sure, an Arla Kvusha there. You remove the Arla? What are you doing? So there's an Arla Kvusha, remove it. No, I can't remove it. It's one with the Gid. It's all enmeshed. Okay, so then what does it help to... So what Brit did you do? Get the arl off. No, so I'm just going to, what is it, symbolic? What are you doing? So that's why the Achronim talk about this. So they say, I think the Stipler says like this, even if you hold arla kvusha, since it becomes one with the gid, there's no mitzvah to take it off. It's one with the gid. But there's a mitzvah to mativ dam brit. Why? There's a mitzvah to draw blood from the arla. That much there is. So therefore, if there's an arla there, and the arla is an arla you can remove, so then you have to remove it. If the arla is not removable because it's one with the gid, then the mitzvah converts into a mitzvah of taking out drawing some blood from there. That's why giving a little nick with your fingernail and getting some blood from the area, since you're getting from the arla as well, because it's one with the gid, therefore that's what you get. Okay. Anyways, how do I know that according to Rabbi Shimon and Elazar, there is definitely a arla kvucha? The Tanya Rabbi Eliezer Kapar Omer, lo nechleku bei Shammai u beis Hillel ad noilad al noilad shumol sheterach lahativ menu dam bris. Halma nechleku lechal lo v'ta Shabbos. Eliezer Kapar says that they didn't argue that you have to take it off. What are they arguing? Michal Shabbat. Beit Shammai omrim mechalin alav et Shabbat. Beit Hillel omrim ein mechalin alav et Shabbat. Lav mechlal, the Tanna Kama said mechalin alav et Shabbat. That means that there was a Tanna Kama that argued with Rabbi Eliezer HaKapar. And he said everyone holds that there's a Tanna Kama that holds that everyone, even Beit Shammai Beit Hillel, hold the Mechal Shabbat. And Rabbi Eliezer HaKaparan said, no, it's not like that. That Beit Shammai says you Mechal Shabbat, Beit Hillel says you're not. But according to the Tanna Kama, everyone holds that you are. Who's that Tanna Kama? That Tanna Kama is the shita of Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. So you see over there, that according to Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, even Beit Hillel agrees that there is vaday in arla kvusha. It's like we're like figuring out an unknown Tana. The fact that Rabbi Eliezer Kapara is arguing with someone, so we're like filling in the blanks. There are the blanks. That's Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar shita. The dilma Tanna Kama divrei hakol emechal and kamar. Okay, so once you don't have the Tanna Kama, maybe it's the opposite. The Tanna Kama says nobody holds. Even a Beit Shammai agrees that you're not mativ dam brit on Shabbat. Even Beit Shammai holds that there is no arla kvusha at all. It's the opposite extreme, the other extreme, right? And then Rabbi Elazar Kapar says, "Hey, don't go so be makel. There's a machloket about it, Beit Shammai Beit Hillel." But who told you what the Tanna? Once you have to just draw your own conclusion. So the Gemara says, "Imkein Rabbi Eliezer Kapar time the Beit Shammai asala shminon." So then you tell me like this: imagine that was the case. That Beit Shammai holds, even Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel hold that what? That there's no atafas dam bris, because there's no arla kvusha. Rabbi Eliezer Kapar says, "No, not so fast. You should know that Beit Shammai holds that there is. I don't agree with that." So then he's just coming to tell us what Beit Shammai holds. Why is he doing that? We don't really. Any shita that says about this machloket is always coming to tell you what Beit Hillel holds, because that's the halacha. So if you're telling me some novelty, news, there's news on Beit Hillel. Rabbi Elazar Kapar says, no, that's not what Beit Hillel holds. Beit Hillel holds something else. Then you have to speak up and argue. But if you're coming to tell me that you don't agree with Beit Shammai, but Beit Hillel still stays the same, so you didn't really tell me anything new in halacha. Now, if you go the other way, like Rav Yosef, this is what the Gemara is trying to say. Rav Yosef said that both man the Omrim held that you do atafas dam bris. That's what the unknown Tanna Kama holds. Comes along Rabbi Eliezer Kapar and says, that's not true. Beit Hillel, he changes Beit Hillel. Beit Hillel says, you don't. So now he spoke up for a reason. But otherwise he's just telling you Beit Shammai. So So the Gemara says, Dil mehalchi kama. Maybe this is what he was saying. Lo nechleku beit Shammai beit Hillel b'davar zeh. That what? Everyone holds you're not mechal Shabbat tafadam brit, and the machloket beit Shammai beit Hillel according to the Tanakama was in the weekday. Shabbat for sure not, but in the weekday there is a machloket. If you have to be mativ dam brit, according to Beit Hillel, you don't have to. So Rabbi Eliezer Kapar said, no. Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai don't argue in the week about the weekday. In the weekday, they all agree that you have to be mativ dam brit, and only on Shabbat they argue. So it comes out that Rabbi Eliezer Kapar is actually saying something about Beit Hillel. He's saying that in the weekday they hold that you have to be mativ dam brit, and therefore there's no proof for Rav Yosef. So now let's wrap up all the shitot before we go weiter. You have like this: 3 different opinions according to Beit Hillel in regards to drawing blood on somebody who was born circumcised. Opinion number 1 is the first Tana Kama in the first Braita that we brought, and according to Beit Hillel, there's no hatafa dam brit. Then you have Rabbi Eliezer Kapar, that according to Beit Hillel, you do have to, because it's a safek arla kvusha. Since it's a safek, so during the weekday Beit Hillel agrees that you do. But on Shabbat, a safek enters that bright that you don't do sfekot. And then you have Rabbi Shimon Elazar's shita according to Rav Yosef and Rav Ada bar Hava that did that to his son, that you have to be mativ dam bris even according to Beit Hillel, because it's for sure an arla kvusha. And then we have a machloka to Rav and Shmuel, who we pass like the Tanakama of Shimon Elazar. Anyways, the Shulchan Aruch and the Rav and Paskin that a child that's born circumcised needs a tafat dam brit, but only in the weekday and not on Shabbat. Now, okay. Yivald. Okay, now we're starting a new sugya over here, and I like this very much. It's very geschmack. Okay, but it's not. Yeah. Okay, ready? Omer Basi. First, join me on this geschmack sugya. Ready? Omer Basi. Rabbi Asi said, "Kol shimot mei aleda imol shmona, v'chol she'entim imot mei aleda en imol shmona." Ready for this? Lior, you want to hear this sugya? We spoke about this other. Any mother who becomes tamei when she gives birth, okay, her baby gets a brit on the 8th day. Now, what about a lady who has a cesarean? A lady who has a cesarean is a machloket, Chachamim, I think, and Rabbi Shimon. But we pass on like the Chachamim, that it says, Isha ki tazri'a bi'alda zachar. Tazri'a means she basically when she gives birth in natural ways, tazri'a. But if she has a cesarean, so she doesn't become tamei at all. We know that when a boy is born, she's tamei for how many days? 7 days. And when a girl is born, for 14 days, she's tamei in Torah. Then she goes through days of tahara, 33 for a boy, 60, right? 66 for a girl, right? 7 and 33, 14 tamei, and 66. So the boy, that whole process ends on the 40th, which means that let's say it quickly. The first 7 days for a boy, she's tamei. The next 33 days, any blood she sees is tahor, not tamei. After going through that whole 40 days, then she brings korbanot to to really, really make herself completely tahor with mikveh, and she's 100%.
This is only with natural birth or both.
Correct. We pass it. That's what we're saying now. It's only with natural birth. With a girl, it's double everything. Double days of tumah, double days of tahara. 14 tumah, 66. So it ends at the 80th day. 80th day, korbanot and mikveh, then she's done. Okay. So, obviously we don't go through these days for a lot of reasons. There's no korbanot, and we're all mixed up with a lot of cheshbonot, so we just keep everything. All blood is always tamei today, and fine. So it's not a gate. It's not. But this is the way it is. This is the way it will be when Mashiach comes. Everything will be back to understand. Fine. Okay. So when does it say that you give a baby? One of the places in the Torah, besides Lech Lecha, besides Avraham Avinu, was in Parshat Shmini. We keep mentioning that pasuk that you give a baby a brit on the 8th day. It's mentioned right after the lady gives birth. Isha ki tazria v'yalda zachar. She gives birth to a boy. V'tame'a shivat yamim ki mei nidat vota titma. Like the days of her nida, she's tame'a for 7 days. Uvayom hashmini, and on the 7th day, on the 8th day, yimol b'sar olato. Give a brit. So the Gemara says, or Rabbi asks us like this: If you go through the process of the mother giving birth of the first pasuk, that she'd be tamah shivat yamim, then you could go to the next pasuk. It's sequence, right? Then you get a baby, and you get a brit on the 8th day. But if the mother has a cesarean, she doesn't become tameah, according to the Chachamim at least. We go with the Chachamim. She doesn't become tameah. She doesn't become tameah. There's no baby, there's no brit on the 8th day. You give a brit on the 1st day. Shenemar isha ki tazriya v'yoldo zochor v'toma uvayom hashmini yimol b'sar alato. Okay, because uvayom hashmini b'sar alato is talking about that baby that was born to the mother who was tameah. Why does the Torah mention it? The Torah mentions it because that's the type of birth that you'll have a baby, that you'll have a brit on the 8th day. Okay. Now, another case that Rashi says besides the cesarean is a goya. A lady, she and her husband, they want to convert. They're so excited about the conversion tomorrow that today she gives birth. A little goyish baby, little baby goy, because they didn't do they didn't convert. These guys are frummer than anything. They're acting religious. They're the greatest. They're going to be the greatest converts ever. But as of yet, they're not Jews. They give birth to a little baby boy. The next day, they're in the mikveh. They're being mekabel mitzvahs. They're crying. They became Jewish. Beautiful. This baby, his mother was tameah when she gave birth to the baby. No, because a goya doesn't become tameah. Okay, so there's another case that you give the baby the brit right away because the mother didn't become tameah. So the two cases that the mother doesn't become tameah is either cesarean or when she gave birth to the baby, he was a goy, and the next day they became converts. So they brought the baby into the way you do it is the baby becomes a convert with the parents. They have das for the baby. You have to do it again when the kid is 13. But this is the conversion as of yet, as of now. And therefore, the baby gets a brit right away. He doesn't have to wait till 8 days. Second day, first day. Okay, fine. It can be 10 minutes after she gives birth if she becomes a Jew. It doesn't have to. Okay, fine. Omar le Abaye. So Abaye says to him, Dorot Orishonim yochichu. Sharei enimot me'al le'davenim ol shmona. He says, what are you talking about? Look at the early generations, says Abaye. Okay? He says, look at the early generations. The mother doesn't have tumat leidah. Okay? Why not? Because they didn't have the Torah yet. The Torah wasn't given. Who makes you tameh for 7 days? The Torah does. So after Matan Torah, we became tameah. But beforehand, all the Jewish mothers beforehand, they didn't become tameah, and yet they already had an obligation before we got the Torah from Avraham Avinu's children, from Parashat Lech Lecha. your children must circumcise themselves. When? On the 8th day. So you're telling me everything's contingent on the tumah. If the mother's tumeah, you get the brit on the 8th day. Says Abai, it's not true. Look at the early generations. Amalei, from Avram Avinu till Matan Torah. Amalei, so Rav Asi told Abai, nitna Torah v'nitchasha halacha. You're right. Before Matan Torah, you're 100% right. Avram Avinu told everybody, if you're a child of Avram Avinu, you get a baby. The baby's born on the 8th day. The baby's born on the 8th day, he gets the brit. But once the Torah came and the Torah made 8th day contingent on Tumah, from now on, you're only going to get it on the 8th day if there was Tumah to the mother. From now on. Now it's contingent on the Tumah. So if the baby is a Syrian, or he was born from a Goya, the baby will get the Brit not on the 8th day, on the first day, right away. So the Gemara says, Eini, is that so? Okay? If a Syrian was born, or someone had two arlis, Rashi has two pshatim. Either he has two layers of foreskin, one on top of the other, or the child was born with two evarim. So therefore he has two arlot, because he has two gidim, right? So Rashi says both pshat in there. Third Rashi over there, if you see it. Rav Huna v'Rav Chiya barav chad omer chalin alav et Shabbat, v'chad omer ein chalin alav et Shabbat. Okay. Now, one says in Mechalel Shabbat for this child, and one says you're not. Now, why not? We'll see in a minute. Ad kan lo pligi el lechalel alav et Shabbat. Avol shmona v'adem mahalin alei. We'll get to the reasons why in a second. Why someone would hold that you're not Mechalel Shabbat for this child. I mean, what's wrong with the child? The child is getting a Brit, and it's a mitzvah, so give him the Brit on Shabbat. Okay, we'll see in a minute why not. But the Gemara is pointing out, the Gemara is pulling out of this Braita, that if the whole question, the Braita on the Syrian, is if the 8th day falls out on Shabbat, because he was born on Shabbat, does the Syrian get it or does the Syrian not get it? But it's clear that the Syrian gets the Brit on the 8th day. Meaning if it wasn't a Shabbat issue, let's say it was Wednesday to Wednesday, so he would get it on the 8th day. The whole question is, do you get it on the 8th day if it's Shabbat? So you see that you're wrong. That is the question on Rav Asi. Rav Asi said he doesn't even have an 8th day Brit. So the Gemara says, no. You should know that the machloket in this Braita, Elo ho behotalia. Ho behotalia, says the Gemara. It's not true. You don't have a problem with this Braita on Rav Asi. Meaning it's like this. You know why the Syrian doesn't get the Brit on the 8th day? On Shabbat? Because the Pasuk, how do we know the Doche Shabbat on the 8th day? Because it says, Ubayom Hashmini. Ubayom is the extra word. Whether the Shmini turns out, Yimol B'sar Lato. Now, who's that pasuk speaking about? That pasuk is not speaking about the Syrian boy. Because the Syrian child that's not the pasuk before it said his mother was Tmeah. So that pasuk that we learn out that Yudoche Shabbat is only speaking about the natural birth where there was Tumah, not the Syrian. Therefore, the Syrian is not Doche Shabbat. So the first Manda Omer, the Manda Omer that says Ein Mechalin Alav et Shabbat, is because he holds that there's no Brit on the 8th day at all. And the one that says Yom Mechalel Shabbat holds there's a Brit on the 8th day. Okay? So it's one and the same. So the Gemara says, Kitanoi. So, says the Gemara, and this whole machloket over here is really a machloket of Tanoim. Now, in order to understand the following Braita, we have to know two psukim very well. One pasuk says, This bright is very geschmack. You ready? You have to go. What? Okay. So it's like this. If a person owns a slave, an Eved Kinani, so there's a mitzvah it's a goy, not a Jewish slave. Eved Kinani. There's a mitzvah to circumcise this slave. Okay? Where does it say that? It says in the pasuk this: Uben shmonat yamim, an 8-day-old, yimol lachem kol zachar. You shall circumcise for yourselves, which means all your children, regular children. The dorotechem. But not only that, says the pasuk adds now, not only your children on the 8th day. This is to Avram Avinu. Yilid bayit, one who is born in-house. What is that? That's talking about a slave born in-house. Umiknat kesef, and one who is miknat, kinyan, kesef, bought with money. Mikol ben nechar, from any child of a goy, but it's yours because he was born in-house or he was bought with money. Asher lo mizerachahu, which is not even from your children, still needs a brit on the 8th day. So it says clearly that you give your own children, plus you give children who are born in-house, that are goyim, or bought on the 8th day. So if I ask you after this pasuk, when does an Eved Kenani get a Brit Milah? Tell me clear pasuk, 8th day. The problem is that there's another pasuk. The pasuk over there, Hamash, the next pasuk says, Himol yimol, circumcise you shall circumcise, Yilid beitecha umiknat kaspecha. The children who are born in-house to a maidservant that's a goya, born like a goy kid, umiknat kaspecha, and those who are born with money. Now, that's a repetition. This repetitive pasuk doesn't mention any day to give that baby a brit. Just says circumcise him, which means it doesn't matter when. You can circumcise him right away. There's a mitzvah for you to do it. So what should you do? When should you do any mitzvah? Right away. What should you wait? What's 8 days? It doesn't say 8 days. So the first pasuk mentions them, and it mentions your own children as well. And it says 8th day, ben shmonat yamim. The second pasuk, which says it again, is only talking about the Eved Kenani child, both types of Eved Kenani, born in-house and bought from the Goyim. He wasn't born in-house, but you bought a kid from the Goyim. And it doesn't say 8th day. So the question is, what's going on? What do you do? So it's a machloket in the following Braita, how you reconcile these two seemingly contradictory psukim. Okay? Because basically what we're going to do now in the Braita is say that there are some types of Eved Kenanis that get 8th day, and some that don't, and it has to work with the psukim. Okay? Now that you know the problem, now the solution is the following Braita. But there's two different paths in the Braita. Okay? Says the Braita like this. Yesh yilid bayit shenimo le'echad. There are sometimes a yilid bayit that are circumcised le'echad on the first day. Because of that second pasuk that I told you, it doesn't say the 8th day. V'yesh yilid bayit shenimo le'shmona. But there are Eved Kenanis that are born in-house that are on the 8th day, because there's a pasuk for that too. Yesh miknat kesef. There are some avadim bought. Shenimo le'echad, they get the brit on the first day. V'yesh miknat kesef shenimo le'shmona. Basically, there's one of each. There's Yilid Bayit that gets 1 day, there's Yilid Bayit that gets 8th day, there's a Miknat Kesef that gets the first day. So who's who? Which type? There has to be different types of Yilid Bayits and different types of Miknat Kesef. So it says the Bayit like this. Yesh Miknat Kesef Shenimo Le'echad v'yesh Miknat Kesef Shenimo Le'shmona Ke'yeyetzad. What's the case that we differentiate between the Miknat Kesef, the two different types of avadim goyim that you bought. Ketzad. Lakach shivcha muberet v'achakach yolda. You buy a shivcha, a goya, as a slave, and when you buy her, she's already expecting a child, and then she gives birth in zeu miknat kesef hanimol shma. So you basically bought him too. When you bought her, you bought him. So that's called you bought him. Okay? So he gets the 8th day. Okay? So the way the Chassam Sofer says it is like this. It's like you bought 2 avadim. You bought a mother holding on to her baby boy. Okay, the baby boy wasn't holding on to her. He was inside her stomach. It's the same thing. It's like you bought 2 independent avadim. So that's a miknat kesef. That's a good buy. You bought 2 avadim. Now that baby needs 8th day. That's in the first pasuk. Uben shmonat yamim yimol lachem kol zachar l'dorchem yilid bait umiknat kesef mikol ben echar. That's miknat kesef kol ben echar. Okay. So what's the type of buying that gets the first day? It's a weaker, right? Lokach shivcha uvlo do ima. So you make the kesef sheni malachat. Okay. But if you bought the baby and the baby's actually holding on to his mother, he's already born, then he gets the first day. Why? Meaning to say, when you buy the baby and the baby's in the stomach, he's going to get the 8th. He's going to have the brit on the 8th day, not on the first day. On the 8th day. What?
So if he's 3 days old, 4 days old, doesn't matter. You have to give him
So
same day.
You wait till that 8th day, right? You don't wait 8 days from when you buy him.
Right.
You wait till his 8th day.
If he was already born, if he's 2 days old, the one he was bought with his mother.
No. So if he's 2 days old, then you give him the first day. Same day. Yeah, echad means same day. Means that if you bought him on the first, you can give him on the first. Yeah. Now, why? Why do they differentiate? Who told them that the kid that's in the stomach is the pasuk of 8th day, the kid that's out of the stomach? So the pshat is like this. Because the kid that's in the stomach is more similar. Who else is mentioned in the pasuk that says 8th day? Your own children. Now your own children are born in your house. So the kid that's born after he's already in your house, even though he's not called a yilid bayit, by the way, we're not even in the category of inborn yet. We're still in the category of money. Because you bought him. Because he was in, it's like when you bought the mother, you bought him too. But he's more similar to that pasuk which mentions your children.
Born in your house.
Right? Because he was born in your house. So he's similar to your own child that was born in your house. Then, to the kid who you bought, the guy that was born outside of your home, and he just came with his mother. So that's the kid that belongs in the second pasuk, and you give the kid the brit on day 1. Got it? Okay, fine. Now we have to go to the 2 categories of inborn. The Torah said inborn is the 8th day, and inborn on the first day. What's the 2 categories? The yeshulid bayit. Shenimoy lishmoy no ketzad. What's the case that you get 8 days? Lokach shifcha v'nis abra etzloi. You bought a shifcha, and she conceived when she was already owned by you. Oh, we didn't have that case yet. We had she gave birth before you bought her, or she gave birth after, but she conceived for sure when she was not by you. Now we have she conceived by you. Why? Because with an eved, however she conceived. So now you gave her an eved. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have more children. That's part of the business. That they had more children, you own the children, right? So now yilid bayit means that child that's born. Yilid bayit and shmona. He gets 8th day. Okay. So he's very similar again to your own children. Okay? But Rav Chama Omer. Okay, now we didn't even tell you the case of the Yilid Bayit that gets one day yet. But right away Rav Chama comes and interjects and he argues and he says, Yoldo ve'achar kach hitbilo zeu Yilid Bayit sheni le'echad. He says, let me tell you the two types of inborn, okay? Even if she gives birth in the Reshut of Yisrael, and then she goes into the mikveh to become an Eved, if she missed mikveh, because when you become an Eved Kanani, you're supposed to, for a boy, you get a Brit Milah, and you go to the mikveh, and then you become like half a Jew, you become like the mitzvot of a woman. The boy. A woman, obviously doesn't get a Brit, but she goes to the mikveh, and she becomes partial Jew also. She has to keep mitzvot. And then when you free them, they become totally Jewish. So he says that's what it really is contingent on. If she gave birth in your home, and then she went to the mikveh, zeu yilid bayit sheni le'echad. So that's the baby
that gets the 8th day.
That gets the 8th day. That gets the first day. Okay? Why? Since it gets the first day. Why? Since at the time that the baby was born, his mother hadn't gone to the mikveh, so she's not really called yet a shivcha kenanit, which she's not yet obligated in the mitzvot. Like a woman, right? Right? Oh, so therefore, when she gives birth, is she tameh? No, because she didn't go to the mikveh yet, so she's not yet partial Jewish or Jewish yet. So therefore, that baby doesn't get the brit on the 8th day. Like Rav Asi taught us, that everything's contingent on the impurity of the mother. He'd be la, but if she went to the mikveh before, the achakach yolda, and then she gave birth, zeu yilid bayit animal lishmona. That's the baby that's born in-house, right? So you see that Rav Chama goes like Rav Asi. But the Tanakama that argues with Rav Chama, Lo shoni lei, he doesn't differentiate bein hitbila v'achakach yolda, bein yolda v'achach hitbila. He doesn't care when she went to the mikveh. That's not like part of the equation over here. The afagav the enimo tmei aleda nimo lishmona. Even if the mother did not have tumat leda, the inborn house child will get a brit on the 8th day. Okay, so you see that the machloket in this braita really is a machloket if the 8th day has anything to do with tuma or not. Now the Gemara says, great, okay, great. So you see Rav Chama in the braita goes like Rabbi Asi. Rabbi Asi is continued, but there's one little puzzle missing in this whole thing. According to the Manda Amar that argued, says the Gemara, Bish Lomer Rav Chama mishkachas la yilid bayit nimel echad yilid bayit nimel shmona. Miknas kesef nimel echad, miknas kesef nimel shmona. According to Rav Chama, you have yilid bayit 1, yilid bayit 8. Miknas kesef 1, miknas kesef 8. What? Why? Because yolda v'achach hitbila. Because if she gave birth after you bought her and then she went to the mikveh, zeu yilid bayit nimel echad. That is yilid bayit. That gets the first day because she didn't have tumah. Hitbila v'achach yolda, but it depends. But if she got tefillah and then she gave birth, zeu yilid bayit shenimol l'shmona. And miknat kesef, what's the case of buying? Nimol l'shmona kigon shalokach shifcha muberet v'hitbila v'achach yolda. You see, everything depends in Rav Chama's world on the tumat leda or not. So he has to change around the earlier cases of miknat kesef too, of buying. And he says like this: if you bought a shifcha that was expecting, okay. Now we said before that she gives birth by you, that's miknat kesef of 8. He says, wait, everything is always about the tumah. So the hitbila, if you bought her, so you bought him inside her stomach, and she went to the mikveh, the achach yoldo, and then she gave birth. So when she gave birth, she had tumah. That's called miknat kesef, but it's miknat kesef that gets the 8th day. But miknat kesef nimol echad, it's kegon shelokach zeh shivcha v'zeh ubara. And what case will be miknat kesef that you buy the kid and the kid gets the first day is two people bought a shifcha that was expecting a child in a partnership. The guy says, I get the lady, and the guy says, fine, I'll pay money down and I get the baby. So therefore, even though the mother went to the mikveh and she was tameah, the baby won't get shmona. Why? So, why? What do you mean? The baby was born from a mother who had tumah. The answer is because the baby is not compared to a normal, because it's not like lochem. It's in the pasuk of the pasuk that says you get on the 8th day is in the pasuk of that's next to your own children. So it's not so compared to your own children. Why? Because a normal child that's born in your house, it's your baby, and you have what to do with the baby's mother. She's your wife. So you have a kinyan on the mother also, because you gave her a ring. But this baby, the one that owns the baby, has nothing to do with the mother. Doesn't have anything to do with the mother. And therefore, he gets thrown into the other pasuk of miknat kesef that gets in the first day. Okay? That's all of Chama, because he had to make up these cases, because everything to him has to do with what is contingent on one thing. Tumah or not tumah. So he had to come out with these little differences. But according to the Tana Kama, but there's one case missing. According to the Tana Kama, he doesn't want to hear anything about tumah, not tumah. So let's get the cases. Miknat kesef means you bought the lady with the baby inside. She gives birth in your house. 8. You bought the baby when the baby was already born with the mother. That's miknat kesef of 1. Then you have yilid bayit. If the lady conceived in your home, she conceived in your home, he's born in house, so he's nimar l'shmoina. He's in the first pasuk. He's nimar l'shmona. So just left with the last one. What is born in your house? That means she has to conceive in your house. So he's going to be. So what case do you have that the baby born in your house is not called miknat kesef because he wasn't? He's going to be the first day. What we don't have the fourth case. Rabbi Yirmiyah b'loikeach shivcha le'ubara. Listen to this case. You bought a lady, a goya, before she conceived, but you're not buying her for her. Let's say you bought her off somebody else, or another Jew or something, or you buy her for the rights of her children. It's like you buy an animal. What are you getting in this animal? I'm paying you $1,000 for the children of the animal. I have rights, not to the shifcha herself. So therefore, like this. So now you don't really have anything to do with the mother. So when the baby comes out, the baby's yours because you paid for it. But that's not similar to your own children. So since it's not similar to your own children, this is an in-house born baby that gets relegated to the second pasuk because the first pasuk compared it to your own children. This is not comparable to your own children. So this is the inborn house baby that gets the brit on the first day.
No matter if she did the mikvah or not?
Right. According to this Madama, nothing. When he doesn't agree with Rabbi, has anything to do with that. Okay? So the Gemara says, we're almost done. We're basically done. So the Gemara says, this works with the Manda Omar Kinyan Perot Lavke Kinyan Aguf Dami. That what? That when you buy a kinyan of Perot, meaning it's not like buying the actual guf. Okay? Okay, fine. But according to the Manda Omer that says that when you buy something for the perot, that's like being an owner in the actual guf, because that's the real owner. Because I own the item for its produce. So that's considered like owning the item. So Ma'ikal Meimar, Meaning, when you buy a shifcha for her babies, that's like owning the shifcha. Because that's what she produces. So you have a kinyan, you have an acquisition in her. So if you have an acquisition in her, he should get a brit on the 8th because he's compared to your own children. So you still don't have an answer. We're talking about buying a shifcha on condition that you're not going to put her into the mikveh. Meaning, I don't want to make her into a real shifcha kananit. She's going to stay by me like a total goya. Okay? As long as he makes such a condition before he buys her, he can do such a thing. So this shifcha, if she conceives and she gives birth, so the baby is considered yilid bayit, okay? But you can do it you do it on the first day. Why do you do it on the first day? Because this child has nothing to do with Judaism, nothing to do with your children, not even partially, not even a little bit similar to your children. Because since his mother doesn't have to turn into a Jewess at all, she's not on the journey, on the path. Usually when you buy someone, if you don't stipulate anything, then the point is that you're going to make her yours and make her more Jewish. That's what you do to make her shivcha kanas. But this child was born to a mother that you stipulated you're not going to do that. So this child has nothing to do with mitzvot. So he's very different than your children. He's not even on the path getting towards you. Therefore, he gets relegated to the second pasuk that doesn't have your children in it. And he's the one that's nima le'echad. According to this Manda. But at the end of the day, yeah. Okay, now I wanted to ask you something like this. Now we start a new sugya. It's a very geshmak sugya. The sugya is the sugya of a baby who dies within the first 30 days. And we get into the whole sugya that you're not allowed to give a baby a nefel, a brit, and how you're allowed to give any baby a brit. We'll see Bezat Hashem. Now, let's turn this off because I wanted to ask you a question. Shukayach.